Once again, in our terminology section, we talked about reward events. And reward events, again, are making the reward sequence itself not something the dog is doing for a specific object, but something the dog is doing with you, something we're doing interactively. So I can jump and run and deliver pieces of food to the dog while focusing on the dog, and deliver them repeatedly or with speed or make them miss and run the other direction. A whole host of things we'll talk about in terms of creating intensity and motivation, but it's something the dog and I are doing together.
Comes back around. Yes. So her attention makes me go. And I'm stopping. And here she is. Yes. Whoa. And then I'm going, right? So make her make you go.
So when we talk about toys frequently in some of our other training, we talk about tugging as being an obvious interactive reward event. The dog has to play tug with me. But we can make reward events or little happenings between the dog and I when we're using food as well. And it's how we deliver the food, how we move, and how engaged we are in the reward process. Some people deliver their rewards by standing up straight, looking the other direction, and throwing a piece of food away from them. Your dog might like that. Your dog might like chasing the food. He might like getting the food. But it's as if the dog is doing that by themselves. Their behavior may prompt the production of the reward, but it's not something you guys are doing. And we want to make it an event, a kind of explosion, a happening, but we also want to make it as interactive as possible. In this next sequence, you'll see a couple of examples of us creating reward events. You may notice that I jump or move quickly right after I release the dog, or I have the dog chase the piece of food and then make them miss it quickly and run the other direction and let them get it. These are all examples or types of examples of us creating what we call a reward event, a sequence that the dog does with the handler that they find highly reinforcing. And you may also notice in these segments how we vary the duration. Sometimes it's very quick and we stop again, and then sometimes it goes on for a little while. Back to that concept of varying the duration of the reward event.
Yes, and jump back again.
Yes. Like these dogs at some point, when she's doing this, it's not about the food anymore. It's about the little game. Like she could have a rock in her hand and this dog would eat the rock before it knew what it was. It's just basically saying, ooh, this chasing thing's fun. So I'm using food in sort of the same way we would with a toy. Go, yes, and let him catch it, and then I'm quickly heading this way, and I let him overtake it. But I run fast enough that he can run me down. Yes, good. Now feed 1, 2, 3. Now do it again. Sit. Yes. 1, 2. Now do it again. Yes. Right? So, if you vary the duration of the reward event, the dog doesn't check out so much. If I say yes, feed 1 piece of food, stop, reset. Yes, feed 1 piece of food, stop, reset. Your dog knows that after each reward, it's not getting another one for a few seconds, so it checks out. But if sometimes I feed it 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, sometimes I feed it 1, then 2, then 5, then 3, then 1. They don't know how long the thing's going on. So they stay there going, and then I'm ready to do it over again. And I don't lose them in between. We hold their engagement. So the idea when I say yes is that the dog is released from the behavior. I see. Yes, that much. That's maybe, if the dog's highly food motivated. For her, we were talking before about her play starting to outstrip her food, and she's losing a little bit of interest. So I want to make the reward be more prey-based than just handing her a piece of food. So I go, asi, yes. So all that is just makes a bigger movement, more prey-based reward. So the yes just says the behavior's over. You're free to move. If I don't have to move very much, I don't. If this dog's psycho for food, and I want to do a bunch of sits in a row, I just say sit, yes, and feed the dog, yes, and feed the dog, right there, right? Bang, bang, bang. If I need more movement to keep the dog motivated, then I move more. And so that comes from she's used to you moving a certain distance, stopping, and then
She
going.
kept
So-
stopping, yeah.
Yeah,
She
she
really
stops.
was it,
She's
yeah.
like, wait, you normally give it back to me at the end there. And that's a flat-footed thing. We move our feet a little bit, and then we stop our feet moving, and then we run out of, one, we can't keep our hand going straight, but also we tend to run out of room, stop, and then the dog goes up to something that's not moving. So there you go. But I want to keep, so you still see your head get pulled back. So literally you want to go all the way until she takes it off your hand. There, then you stop your feet. Good. Good, nice. Super.
Okay.
Good. Good. And those are the places you want to use your markers, right? So when you're giving food in the chases, you can use them if you're comfortable or not. But when you stop, you want to mark that attention. So I make this reward event. You chase, you chase, you chase, you chase, you chase. Then I stop, and the dog's there, and I say, go again. And I say, yes, I will bang, off I go.
Yes. 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 Good girl. Good girl. Yes. Yes. Come on, Rainy. Rainy, get it, come on. Yes. Yes. Good girl. Good. Yes. These things suck to hold on to.